Alright, so I got this underneath here, which is absorbing any oil runoff that's coming from the cap, which it seems like it's done spilling oil out. So we're in good shape there. Right, and what I am going to do is take this and we're going to put a little coat of metal polish on there just to help preserve it so that it doesn't rust. You know, this isn't something that, an area that gets dirty. So it really doesn't, I really doubt that this is going to rust up on us, but what I will do is I'm just going to take some metal polish. Alright, I'm just going to go with my finger. I'm going to rub it into the metal. And then we're just going to rub it off. And what I'll do from that point, after we do that, I'll work my way around. What we'll do after that is put a coat of wax on there, just as a, you know, regular car wax, just as a protectant, so it doesn't rust as much. Alright, with my bare band all polished up and waxed, we can start installing some items here. So we got these little, holy cow, I can't think of what they're called, set screws. There you go, set screws. There was 4 of them altogether. There was, well, actually 5 of them, but there was 2 pointy ones, one longer one that's flat on this end, and this one that's flat on these end. I don't remember when I was taking them apart whether the pointy or the flats went in, but based on the grooves on these pieces, I believe the flat ones off of this. So now these will go into here, and do they thread in like that or they push in? These push in. So these are going to push into here. You can see the mark left on it, so it's a round flat mark. So these are supposed to push in. We're probably going to have to tap them in a little bit, and for that I will put a little lube to let them get in. I'll put some lube on to hopefully make them slide in a little better. Just a little drop. They're going to go in like that, and then I'll just give them a little tap. And I could see the line on them. You could see the change in color, how far they went in. So I'm just following that line and putting them in the same distance that we took them out. So they're each up to the line that they were in, and then you got these little set screws that'll go in from the top. Start them by hand. And I need a narrow. Alright, and get that one in. Alright, and now, my cord back over here, the bottom tray should sit right in there. And let's find our, these are for the bottom tray, each of these. What I'm doing is I'm just making sure they go on nice, because these were in the crushed walnut shells. So I'm making sure that the threads are clean. See, I did get a little walnut shell residue. Screwing it on. There's a little residual in there. Okay, and what I will do is, like I do with everything even working on the cars, a little drop of lube on the threads, just to keep them nice and fresh. Just a little bit. Let me get that tray. I'm looking at the other parts. I just realized that before I put this tray in, getting the upper tray is probably more important. Now this tray here, this is the one that's going to change your deck height. This one we did take this off, and we did clean it really good. So now this will go up in that position. So now I just got to figure out which bolt went in it. And here's the washer. So again, I'm going to put a couple of drops on the first 3 threads, which will be fine. A drop in each thread. I'm going to take this, now what I didn't notice when we first did this was this is actually adjustable in and out. I don't know what the adjustment is, but I don't see that I can go much closer to the blade. I got about a 1/8 of an inch space between the deck and the blade. And I think that looks okay. Have to do a little research on that as far as how much, and this is something that's easily adjustable. You just loosen this one bolt up here, and you could tap it that way or tap it that way. The torque spec good and tight. Alright, and this, like I said, is what your meat goes on when you're sliding that way. Alright, now I can put this bottom one on. Nope. I wonder if I should be putting the door on. Alright. No, we're not going to put the bottom one on yet. I'm going to take this out. This is what I thought the crankcase fill was, because it is open into the crankcase. And that's what I did. I filled it until I saw it, and then it's leaking out over here. So I'm guessing you could always just add oil here. You never have to add oil here. So now this will go in to this like that. And it feels like it's going to need some lube also. And there is no washer for this as far as I could tell. Alright, so we're going to lube this shaft. Alright, this is going to go like this. So, I'm going to take this. Alright, and this should close right into that. And not come as far back as to hit the blade. So I'm just a hair off the blade, so I think it's got to come out just a little bit. And then I can spin that nut down. I think if I just turn this whole thing, right, now that goes like that, and that should not be interfering with the blade. Let's see. Oh, and we got our same thing on our studs. Oh. And it's not any closer, and it would be. I'm saying that's a 32nd off the blade. I'll show you what I mean. You can see right here. Any closer in that way, and it'd be hitting the blade. Alright, so on our tray, and this has been cleaned really good. It does have some staining on it, but there's a little looks like there was a can left on here and left a little bit of a rust stain in the porcelain. But overall, it's in nice shape. This is the porcelain dust, I guess, when they spray it or however they apply it. But this is all cleaned up really nice. So these two tabs here slide into the front tabs, and these rings will go onto the shafts. So it looks like I gotta have this door open to get it in. Really? No. No, this should go in without the door. Nope, looks like the door's gotta come off. Seems like I put it together in the right direction. Well, took it apart rather. Huh? I didn't notice there being an order to this when I took it apart. Alright. Now let's take this. Into there. I'm not tightening these yet. Alright, so that slides into there. And this goes on here. Clips onto there. Yeah. And these two. Move it over, make it a little bit easier to get these thumb screws on. It's starting to look like a slicer. Other than my grimy fingerprints all over it. So here we have our catch. This is the food bit catch. Which slides into two little rubber inserts that we didn't take out. Hopefully they survived. What I'm going to do is see if I can get any white grease out of this. And I'll do. Apparently this got to be upright. I'll do that and then use my finger. I'll put a little white grease on it. Wipe the excess off. Alright, this isn't going to come into contact with food. So now we got the white grease on there. It should slide into the two holes. Nice. Okay, that's in. Which I have a feeling that might have to come back to put the blade guard on. Actually seems like I'm doing a lot of things twice here, huh? Alright, so we got this piece, which is the center section. Came out nice and clean. A couple little nicks in the porcelain. But overall, not too bad at all. So this slides in just like that. I should probably... put a little bit of lube on the shaft. I have no idea whether this, I know this particular piece doesn't spin, but I have no idea if that center shaft spins that this is going into, so can't hurt just to put a touch of lube on it. goes in like that, and it bolts in from the other side. This piece had a set screw in it. I think it was this longer one. Right, because I have two short pointy ones. I believe this one to be a longer one. We'll adjust the height when you drop in your meat tray. Alright, and this set screw here, the fat long one, is going to go in here, and that's going to need some lube. This one is your zero adjustment for your deck height. So we're actually, oh, I got some coming out. So we're actually higher than zero right now. So when this bottoms out, it's going to be at the higher than 0 point. Now when we move this down and bring the deck height down to what we going to perceive as 0, so just by eye, let's call this 0 right here. 0 shouldn't be cutting the meat. So then you could take this, and we could probably turn it in another turn now that I brought it down. See? Goes another turn. Oh, turn and a half. So I went another turn and a half or so. And that looks to be right around 0. So you got to set your 0. You want your 0 to be where it's not yet touching your meat that you're putting in this tray. This way that when you go to a number 2, you get a consistent number 2 or a number 3, depending on how thick you want to slice it. And we're on the home stretch. Another hour, I think, of trial and error fitting stuff, and we should be ready to start cutting some meat. Alright, so that's it for this installment of restoring Uncle Sam's 1940 Globe Slicer. It's a Model 75. Spilled a little oil today. Didn't cut myself, start to finish. I got all 10 fingers, no blood. I'm happy. Next time, a couple last things. We got our food tray to put on, our handle, our blade guard, and our sharpening mechanism, and we're on the home stretch, and this has come out really good. I'm happy about it. Please, in the comments below, let me know what you think, what I did wrong, what your experience has been. Do you know anything about these old slices? Do you know what this gap is? Here's the new question. All right, there's always a question. The gap between this tray and what, I don't know what you call this tray. This is the one that goes up and down to adjust your height of your blade. Your blade doesn't move, the tray does. But there's a gap between the tray and the blade with a knife. And it's adjustable. I set it to about looks like about 1/8 of an inch or so. That's where I put it. That's where it looks okay. I don't know where it's supposed to be. But if you know, let me know. And we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching.